happened. Um, so, like, when it actually happened, there was, like, the car came back. There was no actual investigation done. So, we really want to know what actually happened. We don't really know what actually happened. We only know what they're telling us. They're telling us that he was that he met the person that shot him, that he was shot with his own gun, that he met the person that shot him, that they had an argument, that it wasn't an affair that happened, and that she shot him.
Was an affair?
That it wasn't an affair. That she shot him, and that was all that happened.
Oh, and she's never been prosecuted?
No.
Yeah. Okay, and I did see that your dad was doing something for the ATF.
Mm-hmm.
And how old was your dad when he passed?
65.
Now the woman that they said shot him, do you know how old she was, or what her name was?
Her name was Frances L. Young, and she was 57.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, one last question for you, and then we'll connect with your dad here. What do you think happened?
Well, from what we do know, what I think happened is he was at, like I sent you a picture of Granny Fixin's. We know that he was at Granny Fixin's having a piece of pie. He seen a car that raced by. He got up and he chased after the car and he pulled the car over. We think what actually happened was that he pulled the car over and because he was working with ATF, that he didn't actually drive himself to the place where he was shot and killed. We think that he actually was hit over the head with his own billy club and had his arm broke, and that he never even had a chance to even protect himself. So we think he was actually set up. The autopsy report revealed that he had, Daisy, get back, baby, please. That he actually had a bump on his head, but they said that it was several days old, but he never had a bruise on his head. So that's something that's revealing that's not coinciding with him actually at all. My brother, who is now he's retired, but he was a Washington State trooper. When it was just the family that was allowed to be seen with him, he was looking my dad over and found the broken arm, but that was not an autopsy report.
Yeah. All right. So, let me just ask you one question about the car. Are you talking about his work car or his personal car?
His own patrol car.
Okay, yeah, so work car. Okay. And you said the police aren't helping you on this, or?
I had to wait 34 years because where he worked, they could stay in office for years and years and years. And the sheriff that was in office then, he had been a detective when my dad worked with him on the Bowling Green Police Department. And he was in on organized crime back then, and still was when he was a sheriff. And then he got beat out again by another sheriff who, I don't know if he retired because he retired early. And so the new sheriff, this new blood, he's never been a sheriff in Bowling Green or never was a police officer in Bowling Green or anything. But he's new and he's a whole lot younger. So when the new sheriff became a sheriff in Bowling Green, I contacted him, and he has been more than willing to help me get the case files and everything, but he informed me that there's not a whole lot to go on. And I had somebody reach out to me that was the first person on the scene with my dad, and who also ran out of town really quickly, but was too adamant about telling me what actually happened, when he seen my dad and everything, and was just trying to commit to convince me this is what my dad said and this is what he's seen. And when somebody's trying to tell me, oh, this is what happened, and this is what he said, and it's just, to me, it's just like, are you trying to convince yourself this is what really happened, or are you trying to tell me? And I came across one news article years ago, and then I feel like my dad's been guiding me. And I came across it all of a sudden again right before I contacted you, and I never seen the backside of this news article. All of a sudden I came across it, and what they were saying in it never happened.
Right.
So it's like, you know.
So here's the thing that I am picking up from your dad. So the thing is that I think when you said that a car went speeding by, I think it actually was a setup.
Okay.
I think that your dad did work on projects, and I did read that Bowling Green has always had more or less a drug problem there for many years. I think that your dad knew information. The woman that you're talking about, I think, was part of this setup from the corruption side. I'm not sure why she wasn't prosecuted, but I'm feeling like she pleaded self-defense. I think the other sheriff knows more than what he's saying, obviously, and I think there's some connection there. I do think, as you said, that your dad was probably hit and beaten a little bit. The coroner at the time, what do you know about the coroner at the time?
I don't know a whole lot about him. He is part of J.C. Kirby, the funeral director of where we had him.
Okay. Because the problem that I have with coroners is that they're not good. For police departments, it's easier to say what didn't happen, so they don't have to investigate. And a lot of that is because they don't have the staff where some of them are involved. And I think that's exactly what happened to your dad's case. Is that it would open up too many doors. So the coroner was pretty much hushed, per se, or didn't do a thorough autopsy because of that. I think that, so this woman, is she still around?
No, she actually died. See, what was really strange about it all is that both of my parents went by their middle names. They've never gone by their first name. She actually stalked my family for the first year after my dad's death, and she went to prison a year later for attempting manslaughter on her son-in-law. And then both of my sisters married into that family. And in 1993, my youngest sister married her nephew, and she was at my sister's wedding. And she came up to me. I wasn't even supposed to be out, and I was 8 months pregnant with my first child. And she came up to me and she said, "Aren't you Marvin and Joyce's daughter?" And, well, I'm not going to tell you what I said to her because it was not nice at all, and I meant every word of it. But if somebody is having an affair with somebody, they're not going to call them by their first name. They're going to know that they call him Odie, not Marvin. So that, to me, was the first tip that this woman never had an affair with my dad.
No, I don't think there was an affair there. I think that there was an attraction from her to your dad. I think this is a woman that liked men in uniform. I think this was a desperate woman who had mental health issues. But I really think that, I think that she also had connections to the sheriff at the time. So it's really, were they related or what was their connection at the time? I do know the sheriff at the time was jealous of your dad as far as his career and working with ATF. And so I don't feel like it was an affair. The thing that I pick up is, I want to say an affair, but it was part of his work as investigator investigating, detective ATF side, that I think that he knew this woman, but he knew her more on an investigative side, if that makes sense to you. And I think she thought it was more than that. And so I think it's all tied together. So the answers that you're searching for is really tough because I see everything that you told me happening. Yes, they didn't drive his car. I have unconsciousness. That blow on the head really gave him something. Was he in pain with the broken arm? No, because of the adrenaline. Here's a woman that didn't like what here's a woman that I get, what I think she could have been involved somehow with, the corruption there. I don't think she was on the up and up. I think she was being investigated. I think that she probably had a mental love affair with your father. I think that this whole chase was plotted. And she had help, and I think there's two other men. So one of them could be the sheriff, and there's somebody else. Do you know who those other men would be?
No, but we know that there were other people that were involved. We had people that came to the house and threatened my mom that she had my dad's death investigated, that she would be up the creek without a paddle. Because I remember them coming to the house and them telling my mom to let's go into a private room where they could talk, and I stepped just outside the room and listened to them.
And who were the men, do you know?
One of them was Wayne Constant himself, but I don't know who the others were.
And Wayne was the sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it would make sense when you say Wayne was one of the men, because I think, like I said, I think there were two men. One was him and one was somebody else. With the people that visited your mom, were there two men?
Yes.
Or were there more?
There was two men.
Yeah. So that's where I get the two men involved.
And the ATF was at my dad's funeral, and they asked one of my brothers, he asked one of my brothers who it was, and he wouldn't tell him, and Wayne was nervous.
Right. Well, Wayne is the crux of this. The thing is that the records were not completed correctly. And that's what you're up against. We have no idea who the other man is besides the sheriff, right?
Right. We had one guy that owned a store there in Richardsville, and he came up dead a few years later. They found him up underneath his store, but I don't know who it was. One of the guys that was involved.
Yeah. What I'm being told, and your dad had a great smile. Your dad was really a good guy. Could be hard, but really gentle bear.
Yep.
He's proud of you. How many children do you have? How many kids? How many siblings?
He adopted three of us. There were three of us that were grandchildren that he adopted. Altogether, he had two that died at a very young age, around 2 years old. One was actually a couple of days old, and then one was around 2. Altogether, he had 12 of us. Well, actually, there was 13 of us altogether.
Wow. Okay, so that's where he's a big bear. Big teddy bear with kids. So the thing is, really what I'm being told is, I think I'm being told from him, you pretty much have put the pieces together. It's the question of, is justice ever going to be served? The answer is no. Because A, number one, because of the time.
Yeah.
B, number two, because the records were, I keep getting the word altered.
Yeah.
And so altered doesn't mean they went back and changed it. It also makes me feel like they didn't complete them. So there was, because the thing thing that's really is she showed me the woman again, Frances, and it really feels like that her witness statement wasn't. It was coerced, so it was, prepared.
Well,
why do you think she's the one that shot him?
She said, well, they told my mom that they wouldn't prosecute her because everybody knows her. And then she used the excuse that she was what was it you said
Coerced?
No.
Mental?
Shoot.
Let me look at my notes. Anyway.
Yeah, I can't think. Anyways, she tries, basically, I guess she was trying to say that she was...
self-defense.
Yeah, self-defense.
Yes.
I couldn't think of the word, yeah.
So here's the thing that I get. So, from what you know, do the records have any fingerprints on the gun? Anything like that?
They did no forensics. Yeah. The sheriff, I let him know that I had contacted you and that I had an appointment with you today. So he's got the records, but he told me that there's nothing in them.
Right.
And
because she didn't do it. She didn't kill him.
Yeah, we already knew that she didn't do it. I mean, he said that it doesn't answer his questions, and that's why I told him that I had contacted you. Because I told him that I felt like somebody from the outside would be more beneficial.
Right, and here's the thing that we have to do is I have to look up Frances Young, see what I can find on her criminal records. But it's really trying to figure out, and again, it should be in the police report who that other male was or who they spoke with. And if that's information that we can get, which we should because it's a closed case, so you should have a right to get that. Might have to file a Privacy Act. But the thing is, if we have names, then I can go through the names. So how I work is I do a remote viewing. So once I see a picture or have a name, I try to look through their eyes. And that gives me a better understanding of what's going on. Again, I know there's another male. But, in this particular situation, I can tell you I think he had a mustache at a time. He had brown hair. I get the word deputy a lot. So may have been in the police force, may have been some along those lines. But because I don't have a name or a picture, it's really like
he was a deputy?
Out of a haystack.
And brown hair?
So
If you look up Bobby Odom on Facebook.
Okay, let me look that up now.
He's in Kentucky, and he's got a flag for his Facebook page. He was the first deputy on scene.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm picking up him now. You spell it B-O-B-B-Y, or how do you spell it?
Yeah, B-O-B-B-Y O-D-O-L-D-H-A-M.
Okay, that's B-O-B-B-Y O
L-D-H-A-M. He was in his 30s, and he's in his 60s now, but he was the first deputy on the scene, and he's the one that keeps telling us, this is what happened, this is what he said, and...
What did he tell you your dad said? I can't find him right now. The Bobby Oldham I get doesn't have anybody with the flag.
He said that he came on, when he first got there, my dad was laying on the ground, and he said, Bobby, I've never done this before, but I'm having an affair, and we had an argument, and we had an argument, and I had my pants down so we could have oral sex, and that's why she was able to get my gun and shoot me, and and because my belt was in my seat, and what else was it? And he was yelling, yeah, he was yelling, well, she's got a gun, she's got a gun, she's got a gun. And I mean, just things that he was telling just did not make sense. And I was like, well, first of all, my dad was shot at an angle with his that went through his lung and his spinal cord, and I've had collapsed lungs, and it's just really, really hard to talk when your lung is collapsed or it's filling up.
The thing I have to tell you is that he's lying. Whoever this Bobby is, which I definitely can't find.
Yeah, he's from Henderson, Kentucky.
It's BOBBYOLDHEM.
No.
HAM.
OLDHAM.
Yeah, BOBBY.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am putting in Kentucky, and I'm still not getting it. Yeah, I can't find him. So I wonder if he deleted his Facebook page.
No, I've got it right here.
Oh, why can't I find it?
Yeah. BOBBY. No, I'm not friends with him. He deleted me.
Yeah, but you were friends with him.
Yeah, well, I can't find his Facebook page now.
Yeah, and
That's all I'm saying.
it says lives in Henderson, Kentucky from Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Bobby Oldman. Let me put in Bowling Green.
Yes, it's Oldham.
I think he may have just.
It's OLDHAM.
Oh, wait, I found it.
Okay, yeah.
I found it. He's got an eagle on it. He was just online an hour ago. He's not telling you the whole story. Are we going to get that story out of him? No. I think the story was made up to try to, in his mind, protect you. But he's not telling the whole story. How do we get it out of there? Let's see. So that would probably be the deputy that I'm picking up. Is him, and him not telling the truth. See what I can find about him. Hang on here. Hold on a minute.
And then he's friends with Wayne Constant's daughter.
Let me look up. And what's her name?
Shirley. What is her last name? Shirley Constance something. I'd have to look and see.
I'm looking at his friends. Alright, I'm looking at his friends right now. Let's see if I can find her.
Because I got into a fight with her.
So what do you want to, in the perfect scenario, what would you want, in this case?
I would just really just like to know what happened to him. I want to clear my dad's name. Because, people in Bowling Green think my dad had an affair, and Wayne Constant, did all he could to find out what happened to my dad when Wayne Constant's the one that set my dad up. Wayne Constant was supposed to be out of town that weekend. And Wayne Constant was in town. For family, I didn't get any closure.
Right.
And
help you with that. Okay. Wayne Constant, is he still in Bowling Green, do you know?
No, he died in 2003. Yeah, there's nobody to prosecute. I mean, it's just it's just aggravating because I had to wait all these years to finally do something, and I don't think I put myself in any danger, honestly. I just want to clear my dad's name. And you said that my dad was proud of me, and it was kind of funny because I know when my parents are here, and I know that they're trying to communicate with me. And since I contacted you, they haven't been around. They haven't been trying to communicate. But yesterday my daughter asked me to come get my granddaughter, and so I was on my way to go pick her up, and all of a sudden I felt this proudness come over me. And I was like, I know you're here, and I know you're proud of me. So I knew that my dad was with me, and I knew that he was proud of me.
I'm reading about what was written about him in 2003. Constant here. They said he was a sheriff for 4 years, known for cleaning up Bowling Green in the 1950s and 60s. At the time, the city was known as Little Chicago for its corruption and crime.
It's still known for corruption and crime.
Well, that's what I read, and I think he was right in the middle. Hold on a minute. He was the only law enforcement to serve as the sheriff and police chief. His daughter Sally Constant, let's see. Let me ask you this. Oh wait, hold on. His delivery was done by Kirby and by church minister Richard Oldham. Do you know who Richard is?
Mm-mm. I wonder if he's related to Bobby.
He has to be. Hold on here. So he had to be related to Bobby. So, okay, here's what I pick up. First of all, I can't find much on your dad.
No, there's not anything. There's nothing. The only other thing that's on the internet about my dad are videos that I posted, and even that, a lot of stuff I block.
Right. And I think that's kind of weird in general, because when it's usually big news when a sheriff or law enforcement gets killed. That's usually big news.
Yeah, there was only one news article.
And it's up here on the internet. So this is where, again, the sheriff came in, constant, and it was a cover-up. So definitely know that. The person that can give you the answers is not going to give you the answers. Really, the thing is that you're very intuitive yourself, and you've done enough research, and your dad has spoken to you through your intuition, and like you said, probably guiding you. And it's almost like I would have to say you're at 97 to 98% of the truth. And the truth that you don't know is really the circumstances behind it, i.e. they're saying that he had an affair, which he did not. With this woman, again, when I say he didn't have an affair, I think that this woman, like you said, she's attempted murder before, so I think she was a person of interest or somebody that they made contact with. She tried to get into the drug world more, the corruption. And so to your dad, it wasn't an affair, but I think I would say it more as a friend, a close acquaintance with her, per se. But it was done on a work level. So it wasn't done on a personal romantic scene, which she took it as. I think that your dad was getting close to something, or knew too much information, and I think that's where this all started. I think she was the lure to get your dad somewhere, but I think other people took care of him. And I'm only seeing one person, so it would have been her and one person there. Does the sheriff know about it? Did he know? Yes. He is passed at this time, so again, there's nothing we can do per se on that. Unfortunately. What else am I picking up? And she's passed too.
Right.
So of course there's nothing there. The problem that you have and the sheriff has is the sheriff is being honest with you and there is nothing there.
Right.
So really, us finding closure, here's the thing. Have you had any problems since you started looking into this?
No, not really. I just, before I contacted you, I just had a lot of anxiety because I just wanted answers.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got more and more information, and then I just like, I found you, and I was like, well, I know what I'm getting is right, because I know my dad is here, and I know he's guiding me, because I know he's giving me the answers. And then I contacted you, and then within 15 minutes of giving you more information, aerials and stuff, and then you say, okay, here, we're going to confirm it. I was like, okay, he's getting something. So then I felt peace. And then like I said yesterday, I went to go pick up my granddaughter, and I hadn't heard anything from my parents, nothing. And all of a sudden, I felt an overwhelming of pride fall over me. And I was like, my dad's here, he's telling me he's proud of me. So then I knew then that he was giving you the answers. He was giving you the truth. Because I had talked to Bobby Odom before. I had talked to a medium before in October. And, my parents had came forward, and I had asked my dad where you sat up, and he said the truth will come out. Well, that was after I had done talked to Bobby Odom. So I already knew that what he had told me was a lie. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said the truth would come out. So whenever I had already done everything and knew that my dad was guiding me, and then I finally felt at peace after I had contacted you, and you confirmed our appointment. And then yesterday I felt a feeling of pride come over me, knowing that was him telling me he was proud of me. I felt a whole lot better. So.
Cool. Let me ask you a couple questions. You have something out of your father's. Is it a watch? Is it a badge? What is it?
I don't have anything of his.
I feel like somebody. Huh?
I don't have anything. My brother has his. My brother has his badge. He has his uniform. He had cancer, and they told me I've known that they were with me because I've been really, really sick myself. He had cancer, and they told me that they've been with me, but right now that they're with him because somebody in the family's really sick, and I knew then that they were with him. But he was doing his will, and I told him, I was like, look, I don't want anything of yours, but the one thing I want is his badge, because your kids don't know him, and biologically I'm your kid, but the only thing I want is his badge. So I don't know what he plans on doing with his badge.
I think the badge is coming to you because the badge came to me, and it's almost like you have it. So that's going to tell me that you're pretty much going to get it. When, I can't really tell you, but you will have your dad's badge. So that will come through. As far as the truth on your dad, the thing that your father is telling me right now, and he says father more than dad, because he questions his role as a dad, if he was a good dad, which he was.
He was.
But what he's telling me is that at least somebody knows the truth, and that is what's given him peace. Is because somebody knows pretty much the truth of what happened. And really what it is when we clear your name is being very adamant to me that your dad was not in a relationship with this woman.
And that's what I wanted to do. That was what was important to him.
That's very important that he clears his name there because the relationship was through his work.
Yeah.
As far as the oral sex part, I don't buy it.
I don't either.
I think that he was hit on the head. I think he did pull somebody over. I think that he was hit. I think it kind of startled him. probably laid him on the ground for a minute. And I think at that point is when they got access to his stuff. I do feel like your dad did try to get up, and I do think, again, they probably hit him with something. So if you say the Billy Club, I could buy that. But there is also, see, without an autopsy, the thing that I'm having a problem with, and this is why I think that some drug was used, like chloroform or something, is simply because of this. Because even with a broken arm, there's still one arm. But your dad would have continued the fight. And that Billy Club breaking his arm would not have kept your dad on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they shot him.
Yeah, but they had to get his gun.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I'm saying, what arm was broken?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Because the thing is, your dad is smart enough that if he had a broken arm, he would try to protect his pistol or use his gun with the other arm.
Yeah. Well, he was right-handed, so it would have been on his right side.
Right, but if they broke his right arm, he would have used his left arm.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
I just feel like there's more to this story. Because the thing is that they had to take your dad down somehow, and he's not really showing me that it was by being hit. Your dad definitely would have protected his weapon.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, and so what you're getting as far as they didn't pick up the broken arm and stuff. If your dad, let's say your dad didn't have broken arm, I think your dad had broken bones, but the thing is, if your dad didn't have a broken arm, it would have been a fight, and they wouldn't have got his gun that easy. And it wouldn't have been that easy. I guess the thing is that I think that there would have been more of a scuffle, which should be on the coroner's report.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they ambushed him, is really what I think. And I think that I guess where I'm going, we could say some drug or act. It could also be strangled. In a stranglehold, well, he went unconscious because that's the only way they would get his weapon. So I don't know. I'd see that there was kind of a scuffle, but not a huge scuffle. So I think that this was very well planned. Now, what do you know about where did they find the gun and any of that stuff? Do you know?
No. They just said that she had it. The Billy Club was underneath his driver's seat, and he never kept it underneath the driver's seat. The Billy Club, he had a cage, but it wasn't one of those like cages. He had the plastic see-through cage, and he had a gun rack on it. And the Billy Club was always kept on it, but they found it underneath the front seat. And there was blood all in his car, and they didn't even take it to go have it investigated or forensics done on it. They brought that car right back to the house that morning.
We don't know if it was blood splatter or just blood pooled, right?
It looked like that he had been shot on the driver's side. They were trying to say that he was shot on the passenger side, but there was blood that had went down the driver's side of it. And there was blood all over that car. I seen it.
So here's the thing that doesn't make sense. This is why I'm telling you what I see, which is different, is because if his pants were down, how would he get back in the car, per se?
Right.
And if he was shot in the car, there would be blood splatter on the passenger side as well.
Right.
I don't think she did. I think it was somebody else, and I don't think that his pants were down. I think that I think that somebody got him from behind, or there was something else used. Really do. And so what I'm really showing is another male there, and he's the one that did that.
And that's what we think.
Yep. So I agree with you. So I think that you have the answers. So I think that really with the investigation you did, really the best thing I can do is pretty much validate what I picked up, which is what you picked up already.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I can tell you is you're never going to find complete peace with this. And I think that really what Spirit's telling me, your dad's really telling me, is that you know the truth or close to the truth. And really, it's more important to him that you know that he didn't cheat. Because that's his reputation.
Yeah.
He's telling me that really nobody in the town matters what they think. I think it's been kind of that way his whole life. That really didn't matter what other people thought. I'm supposed to tell you that he was a good officer. He really was.
Oh, I know he was.
Made mistakes, but always tried to do the right thing. I do believe that it was a setup. I do believe that I think there's more than just a car speeding by and him taking off. I think he was called.
You know what?
Dispatch on that car.
We were asked. I was asked if he was called because there was a drunken driver speeding down Richardsville Road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that you say that because that makes sense. Did you say that?
Yeah, I think he was called. Yeah, he was called out on the call. And I think that whole thing was a setup. This is going to sound really off the wall, but this constant. What do you know about his indiscretions?
Indiscretions?
His affairs.
Well, I know that he cheated on his first wife with his second wife, and I know he cheated on his second wife with my mom, but then that was it.
Because the thing that I ask you is, think about this. Like I said, this is going to be off the wall, but this is what coming through me.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't the sheriff been having an affair with this woman?
Oh, possibly. And then trying to cover it up using my dad. But see that, and that's what I told the sheriff. I was like, this is the thing. Okay, the sheriff worked with my dad while my dad was on the police force. Okay, back during then, my dad was married to his first wife, but having an affair with his second wife. And so fabricating a story that my dad is having an affair for people to believe, especially his own family members, would not be hard to believe.
Right. But the sheriff or Constant was the one who was having an affair and was tied into this organization. Because Constant protected her. Constant protected her. That's the only reason that a woman would get off who attempted murder before would get off from this killing if somebody protected her, which would have been the sheriff.
That would make sense.
Or the police chief. And that would be Constant.
Yeah, and they wouldn't prosecute her because the prosecutor told my mom that they couldn't prosecute her because everybody knew her. And that she would have to hire somebody from outside to prosecute her.
And here's the thing. I guess that doesn't matter because the law is the law. If you're, let's take your dad. Your dad would have followed the law if they knew her or not, right? That's the way the law works.
Right.
So when you have somebody that's in charge with a lot of influence, which this Constant did have being in both positions, he told the coroner exactly what he wanted. And I think that he is the whole center point of this whole thing. And I think that he scared this. I think the other guy involved was afraid of him and his power politically and in the town, and that he could ruin people. And I think he was scared. And I think that that's really where this whole story goes to. Is Constant is the main player here.
I agree.
And because he's no longer with us, like you said, there's nobody to prosecute. But again, all has shown me that it comes to Constant and your dad, I hate to use this word, but was the pawn
I believe it.
for doing his job. And I think that the woman, Frances, I think that Frances was upset and willing to turn on the chief of police, either by starting to speak or speaking. And I think that's where this whole thing started to get set up. Especially with Constant and his ego, and what the papers in the town listed him more or less as a hero and being this and that, changing the town.
Yeah.
He was very corrupt. And I think that he had lots of connections. I think that she knew about them, and I think that she was coming to a point where she may have been spoken or tried to speak. I think your dad knew her, of course, and maybe it was something that was said to your dad. Because the other thing that I'm picking up is that if the whole town knew her, it almost feels like the whole town knew that she wasn't always truthful. Maybe a little on the trashy side. But people wouldn't believe her.
Yeah, the whole family was.
If she would talk to general people, like, hey, Sally at the grocery store, let me know what's going on, I don't think people would believe her. So I think the connection was that she probably had told your dad stuff. And I think that started the whole situation. So your dad is the victim here. In a corrupt town.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the evidence has died.
There was no way of doing it before Peanuts got out of office. He wouldn't talk to me.
No, because everything was squashed. Everything, he had the control. And that's what I'm telling you, he was losing control on this brand. And I think the story they told him about his pants down and stuff is false.
Oh, well, when they got there, his pants were down, but they pulled him down.
Yeah, I think it's false. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's all false. I mean, he wasn't there for that reason.
Yeah.
So I think you know the truth. Unfortunately, at this stage, there's nothing we can do. You know the truth. Continue to use your intuition because you're very good. Your dad may not come to you as much as you had the last few times because you know the truth now, so the piece has been spoken per se. And what that does a lot of times, it allows them to move forward. Because it's out here now. You're in a position of who do you really tell about this that really could change it or really makes a difference. There's probably nobody anymore. So I think it just had to be an internal piece for you to find the answers, and if people ask you, you'll be honest. The other thing that I had written down, you might want to just write a memoir of what you believe. Just to put it out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Your dad is actually in a good place. Who's the woman that's with him?
My mom.
Oh, okay. because I do have a woman with him that he's close to. Did your mom like flowers or gardens or walks with flowers?
Yes.
Because they walk, and I see like sometimes forest, but a lot of times I see flowers or flowers in the forest. In Green Hills, which I know is Kentucky, but mostly a lot of flowers. So they are together and they do walk. Your dad is definitely. How many children do you have?
Me? I have 2. And then I have 2 grandchildren.
Yeah, because your dad is definitely their guardian angel. Do you have a daughter?
Mhm. Yeah, I have a daughter and a son.
Okay, so your mom is more of your daughter's guardian angel, and your dad's more of your son's. Does your son remind you of your dad at all?
Not really, because he is my son and I are at odds right now.
Okay, but talk about personalities and similar features.
He's more like his dad. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is his dad tough?
No, his dad acts tough.
Okay.
My dad's tough, but his dad acts tough.
Well, because the thing that's coming through your dad is tough love, and I don't really know what that means. That's why I was asking if his dad's tough, but it's tough love.
Oh, I'm giving my son tough love.
Right now?
I'm giving my son tough love.
Okay, got it. Which tells me that your dad is around you and your dad oversees you. Again, your dad is so proud of you and you're happy. And again, we may not know 100% of the truth, but you're at 97, 90% of the truth. And really what's important is that somebody knows the truth, and now that that's there, your dad can move on.
Well, I've been working on this for, several years. And I always said that I know that he knows that I'm going to do this because I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn.
When you say that, the reason I laugh is because he's laughing. He knows you are, and he knew it would never drop. But at this time, it's really just digesting the conversation and understanding that you do have the truth that you're going to get. The players are no longer around. The guy that is around is not going to tell you, because what happens to people like that is that they believe the story for so long it becomes their truth.
Right.
And that's where this person is. I'm supposed to tell you you're a great mom. So I'm supposed to tell you that.
Oh.
You've had a hard time, haven't you?
Very hard time.
Yeah, your dad sees that and he says you're a great mom and you've been through a lot, and that's very proud of you. And you're going through a tough time right now. Your dad just wants you to know that they're both there for you. So really with this, I think it's a matter of possibly just writing a little memoir in a notebook. What do you have, if you haven't done that yet? And, the thing is that the players have to pay their dues, whether it's not here, but where they're at now. And so I don't think there's rest there, to be honest with you. I think that's the truth is that with your dad now, it allows him to move forward. He'll never leave you, but it's kind of like this chapter's done now that you know. And it really feels like I'm supposed to tell you that the players involved are not at rest.
That's good. They don't need to be.
What's that?
I said that's good. They shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I know it doesn't bring a lot of comfort, but I'm really getting that strong feeling they're not at rest. And I think it's just something to let you know that they're paying their dues. Something else is going to come out of this in a couple of years, whether it be, when did your dad pass? What month and year?
It happened on May 31st of 85, but they say his death date is June 1st of 85.
I just feel like another story is going to come out about the sheriff, which they'll mention your dad's name. I do. And I don't know if it's going to be your story, but I just don't know. Really, I don't know. Would your brothers be interested in knowing the truth, or is it pretty much just with you?
Some of them don't want to know anything. Some of them do. Some of them don't want to hear about it.
Yeah. I just feel like you're caught in that position where you just want people to know the truth, but they're not going to listen. Or, like you said, they don't want to know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the truth is found from what you've discovered, and it's really what you do with it now. The thing I can tell you, as I feed them together, like I said, flowers, they're good. They're sad they're not here, but they're happy, and they're in a good place. Was your dad a believer in God?
Yes.
Because it comes to me so strong that they're in heaven because they believe so, and they're there. And so the thing he's funny. The thing he showed me, he went to it out. He's like living in an adult, like an adult community. I don't want to say like adult. It's an adult community. I don't want to say trailer community, but it's like it's a retired community where they shoot the ship and like stuff they would do in Florida, like closey balls where you roll the ball down the green. It's almost like they're in this, and your mom's very social, and so they're in a very good place. Who plays cards? Is that your mom?
Yeah.
Because she plays a lot of cards, and the women are very, I don't know, they're sassy. That tells me they're in an amazing place, and they're doing okay.
Yep. My mom always played cards. My dad wanted to move to Florida.
And that's where I get the balls with the, so he's doing that. So I think it's called Bocey ball or something. I don't know. It's like you roll this ball across the stupid strip of grass. I don't know what, when that knocks somebody balls out or whatever. But they're having a great time, and really, I guess the thing I can see, if you picture like the commercials for a retirement community where everybody's happy, that's where they're at.
No, that's good.
So they're good. And the thing is, I just validated what you already know. Because you know they're good. Any other questions for me?
Nope, that's it.
Well, I wish I could have been more help with you, but unfortunately there's not much we can do. Someday, hopefully, we can figure out who the other guy was. And I don't know what's your thoughts with the information you're going to do now.
Well, I am going to be seeing the sheriff on Friday of next week.
Okay.
And
really the question is, who's the other man?
Yeah.
And the other man is the key to the answers, if he's still living or if it can be brought out of him. The thing about the guy that is living, he's not telling the truth.
Yeah, and I told the new sheriff that. I said he's not telling the truth. He's only saying what he wants to say or what Constant told him to say.
Right, and the thing is, because of his age and how long ago it's been, 34 years, this has become his truth. That he 100% believes this is what happened.
Yeah.
And how do you change that after 30 years? I don't know. Unless he just has a breakdown. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just really kind of in a hard thing. The thing I would suggest for you is see if you can go through the autopsies and everything else and just see if we're missing somebody or something. But I think you've got everything there. I think it's just, like I said, a lot of validation with you today that you already know. I don't know anything about it. And I think really when you talk to the sheriff, it's just trying to find some closure. Maybe validating some of the things that you know again. I think that's the best you're going to be able to do. But overall, in the end, your dad is good. Your mom is good. They do watch over you. They do know that you're going through a tough time right now. But they're there with you. You've always been a fighter. You've always been the strong one. And they're proud of you. And that's really what I can tell. And, of course, they love you. You know that. They're just so very proud of you. And that's the most important thing they want you to know. And I'm supposed to say your dad always loved your mom.
Oh, I know he did. They were married they were together for over 30 years and married for 30.
Yeah. So, that's really all I can give you now as far as investigating it. If you come up with anything else, then give me a call. To schedule an appointment, just send me an email because you have my email address.
Okay.
As far as the pictures you showed me, we're not looking for a missing body or anything, so I can get them and I can connect your dad to the place. One of them, anyways. And so again, if you have more information, I'm always open. So please just shoot me an email.
Okay.
If anything else comes through, because I'll look at your notes again and the pictures again probably next week, I'll let you know too.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, and then we'll be back in touch sometime.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.